Okay, you remember that the four-chamber view is an axial plane through the lower thorax of the fetus. But what happened here? Well, what happened here is that the beam got slightly angled up toward the root of the aorta so that we can now see the root of the aorta. This is sometimes called the five-chamber view, but as you might guess, I like that term about as much as the four-chamber view. These structures all have perfectly good anatomic names, and I can apply those anatomic names here, not number 1, 3, or 5. Okay, the importance of this view is that it is the equivalent of both a four-chamber heart view and the left ventricular outflow tract view. Remember, my bottom line observation for the LVOT view was that the anterior wall of the aorta was continuous with the interventricular septum. I can see that here. So, spine, descending aorta, left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium. The diameters of the right and left ventricles are about the same. The diameters of the right and left atria are about the same. The blood goes to the apex of the heart in the left ventricle and goes nearer to the apex of the heart than the black blood in the right ventricle. And I can observe, in addition to that, that there is no lateral mediastinal shift. There is no posterior mediastinal shift. There is no anterior mediastinal shift, and the line drawn through the interventricular septum compared to the mid-sagittal plane shows that there is a normal axis of the heart. I did all of that in just a few seconds, really. I mean, it took me a while to verbalize it to you, but all of that was done in a few seconds. And I can now say normal four-chamber and LVOT tract view. Now, let's say you want to get the real LVOT tract. You don't want to just get a five-chamber view. That's good. I applaud that. Wonderful. So for the technologists looking at this, to get the real LVOT tract, you first angle up to get the five-chamber view, so you can see the root of the aorta. Then you fix this end. You think to yourself, that is welded to the patient's abdominal wall, this end. I'm only going to move this end, and you want to angle it toward either the chin of the fetus or the right shoulder of the fetus. I simply think I'm going to angle it toward the aortic root. And there you go. You will get your LVOT tract view. So here we have a nice cine clip of a four-chamber view. Oops, what happened there? Oh, well, what happened there is that the sonographer was smart enough to angle the transducer up toward the root of the aorta. So I can see the root of the aorta, and I can not only completely evaluate my four-chamber view, but I can also evaluate that the anterior wall of the aorta is continuous with the interventricular septum. If I wanted to, I could observe that the posterior wall was continuous with the anterior leaflet of the mitral valve, but I don't make that observation. I'm only interested in this one, anterior wall, continuous with the interventricular septum.